Thokozani Bokoko Nabomkulu, Thokozani tribe, Thokozani my community. Yeah, Thokozani all of us. I'm realizing that actually the lighting of the laptop supports the lighting of this because I am traveling. So as I am traveling, I didn't bring my business, my ring light, because it just like feels like so much admin to try bring ring light while I'm traveling. But who knows, I think I might have to find a way, especially as I start to do travels, because it takes a lot of admin just setting it up without the ring light. Because with the ring light I just get a position and then it's like this and that, and I'm also remembering that I need to put off my especially WhatsApp notifications, because as I start to do lives, it's like so please greet and let us know where you're from while we wait for people to gather, the tribe to come through, because tonight's topic is about polygamy. And I said, what better place to speak about polygamy than la? Gise Durban, Gise Tegwin, Gise Natal, KwaZulu, where we know Guti, most people, it's a culture that also supports polygamy. I also do, but I don't just be like everyone can be polygamous, no, polyandrous, no, in a different kinds of a relationship than a monogamous one. So yeah, so we have Mutlati from Bizana, we've got Sandy from Cape Town, Molo Koko. Yeah, I never miss your videos. Thank you to everybody. Remember to subscribe, because when you've playing with from Cape Town, we've got a lot of people. I'm coming to Cape Town this weekend. I'm coming to Cape Town, so I'm going to be in Cape Town for a couple of days. I got a lot of people from Cape Town. Oh, Rena, who's from Namibia, is in Spain. Wow, Nicolette from Cape Town. Hey, Nicolette, I'm seeing you soon. I've got Simhiwa from Free State. Ulami, we've got somebody watching from Morolo. Where's Morolo? I'm in Pretoria. Okay, we've got Joyce from Pretoria. We've got Bridget, doesn't say where it's from. Wow, today's Cape Town. Beloveds, it's a lot of Cape Town people. Togoza community tribe. We'll see Sfisos is in Hollywood, LA. Oh, nice. Boom is from London. Wow. Bia is from the UK. Nizizwe is in Kumaluma Mdunga in Devon. Are you in Devon? I am in Devon currently, but originally from Johannesburg. Okay, yeah, it's going fast. Nama from Canada. Mamputi from Midrand. Nobile from Kramerville. Wow. Okay, cool. Because I like to see who's present, right? Tribe, like who check in, like who's here, present, so that when I'm speaking, I'm not losing any tribe member. Because my intention is to make sure that all of us are following the conversation and all of us are following the teaching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, put on that thing that was a bell, the notification button. You will never miss it. Even when I'm late, you will never miss my stream. So what are we talking about today? And you can ask me your questions later. Feel free to comment, in between the conversation or the discussion or the teaching I'm actually doing. Please don't ask me questions while I do that, because it kind of distracts me, because I need to finish my train of thought. And once I do finish my train of thought, then I'll open. And remember, the conversation is about polygamy in African spirituality, so we can be clear. So people are not asking me about their dreams, and they're not asking me about signs, and they're asking me that. I said I'm an African spiritual teacher. That means, beloveds, ngizofundisa ngento eyiningi. Angeke ngifundise nje ngobungoma kuphela. Ubungoma is just one. So what about those who are trying to understand practices that have to do with our spiritual ways of doing things, but they don't have to do with ubungoma? So we can't be covering ubungoma only. I just finished a talk right now with Indlela Yetu. It's a fashion conference, and I had to speak about African spirituality and fashion, because I'm like that. I see African spirituality that it cuts across a lot of things. So let's speak about polygamy, known in ngesiZulu is Tembu, and in Sotho is known as Sitebu. And it has come into our our attention one more time because of Utando Nestembu. I haven't really watched, I don't watch much TV, so I know of the show. I don't know very much, so please don't ask me what I think about it because I am not really. But also came into the limelight with Umnage to meaning one whom we are gonna be sharing a partner with. But I remember my first encounter of polygamy outside the black community was with a show, because I used to watch a lot of TV, but I don't do it anymore because there's no time to do that. So it was on TLC, on DSTV, and it was called Sister Wives. I don't know who has seen that. And I looked at that, I was like, wow, it's so incredible. All these wives, what men, and they can live very well. They fight, but they are treating each other because with respect and all of those things. And I know, I know that, the fact that we were raised to compete for men, we were raised to always want people to belong to us. And when a woman is with another man, or a woman is dating a man, the woman gets attacked instead of the man being attacked. It's the woman's fault, even though the woman didn't know that that man had a partner. But it would always be the man who doesn't get the lashing, but the woman would, like, how dare you date a married man? But the married man came and asked me out. How dare you do that? And most women don't even know that their partners are married because they hide it. And then they come and like, yeah, I come from a polygamous marriage, therefore, yabona mina vele ekhaya kunesithembu. Yes, that could be a fact, that you come from a lineage of men who used to take that. But do you understand why you need to take it in this time? Do you understand the significance of Istembu Ekhaya? Do you understand why that cultural practice was active? Do you have an understanding, or are you doing it because you are also following a trend? Or are you doing it because really right now you're just finding another second partner so that when Udino express you can go outside and be with somebody else? Because we need to know, Guti, when we speak about polygamy being our cultural practice, what were the reasons that such a cultural practice came into play or became one that we exercised? So when we as Africans used to own land, of course, and work for ourselves and sustain ourselves and took care of ourselves in all sorts of ways, including economically, we owned land and we worked the land. We farmed, we did cattle farming, we did crop farming, we did all of those things, and we owned big pieces of land. Not everybody, of course, owned big pieces of land, but most of us did. And we worked for ourselves. So meaning that there wasn't a lot of people who would then come and want to be employed by us because we would work. We all had owned something, or majority of us owned or had something. So meaning the family would work the land. The family would take care of the household, including the mother and the father. So as we grew in our wealth and in our progression, this is ordinary, because then I will speak about people in royalty. Then we realized that there's a need to have the more children. So when we married to produce. So we understand that, okay, to produce children would be important because it would keep the family, the wealth of the family sustained, because it can be passed from one generation, but we would have people who can also work and take care of it. So women would give children, and when they passed their biological clock, then a woman would suggest that they bring another woman, a sister wife, into the family households to grow the number of children, or for whatever particular reasons that they would, and I'll speak to them just now. So understand that you need to understand that that was that, so which brings me to some of the myths. So the myth is always that the man is the one who has to say, Guti, Gifunis Tembu. Yes, you can say it, but how it was done, it was the woman's call. It was the woman's call because the woman is the guardian of the household. Umama wasekaya. Uletim futumalo, the warmth, the nurturing, the caring. It was a woman's call. No man can make a decision without a woman. No man can decide without the woman. In our culture, that's how it was. Not what we are seeing now, where a man says, hey, 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 this is what's happening. It was a woman's call. One, for a polygamous marriage to happen, a woman would call for it. Number two, you were calling for it on what premise? You are calling for it because there is value that needs to be added in the household, which you don't have capacity to add as a woman. We are growing, expanding, so we need more kids, for example. Or we need another person, because I'm not intellectually inclined to run businesses, because we married when I was young and I never got an opportunity to go to school, and I've not really had an interest. But then here's this person who has a business inclination. Then we're gonna bring them on because they're going to help expand. It was about adding value, not adding people or women. It was not about pleasure, and especially sexual pleasure. It was about adding value. Value means it's going to grow us, it's going to expand us, it's going to make us a better family by having another person join our family. And with the choice that the woman would make, it means that they had to have a relationship that was able to be healthy, so the man is not put in the middle. Which brings me to principle number 3, which would be ukuthi isithembu was not for everyone. You had to have the financial resources or the capacity to be able to run more than one household, because two women don't share a kitchen. Well, that's an analogy. Not every woman has to be in the kitchen. I'm using an analogy, same way as they say two bulls don't rule in one crawl. So similarly, because I would be cooking and ngizotha ubaba utanda, semp and stew. Bese not no mina utandi pasta. Yeah, but so we'll fight over small things. They never stayed in one household. They never shared a household. That's what I'm saying, Guti. Principle number 3, yeah, polygamy. You had to have the resources to expand and grow your family. So you can't have isithembu awukaqedi nokulobola. You haven't even lobola to the first wife. The necessary rituals and practices have not even been performed. There isn't even a house for the first wife. And not that the man is responsible to buy, it's about female language. But how are you going to extend, whereas the current is depleted and the current needs work? Stembu was not brought to fix the marriage problems. It was brought to add value. So when it was brought, the other reason would be ukuthi mhlambe umama akakhona ukuzala. Then they would bring umnakabo ukuthi aze to give birth. But it was clear. The man, it was clear for the second wife, which what are you coming into this relationship as? Because there's only one Ndlovukazi, good relationship, the queen bee, one. Then other ones are sister wives, but they respect the first wife. Because uyena wavuselela ikhaya laleyo ndoda. Yazi ake ngiyithathe ngesiZulu mhlambe ningizongizwa kahle. Uyena wavuselela ikhaya. She is the one. She is the one that built that home. So she would then be respected as such and revered as such. Whoever that comes has not come to replace, like what we're seeing now. They have not come to replace her. They've come to expand what she's already grow from the foundation in which she has set for the family. Indlovukazi. That's why there would be Indlovukazi and all of those things. Remember to please subscribe, like the video, and share. And it might not be a long one because it's a straightforward conversation or talk. So that is, it wasn't coming to replace the woman. The other thing, the woman have to like and want to have that woman, because the person you're bringing has to share principles and values similar to your family setup, because you're not looking for somebody to disrupt the order of the household. You are bringing somebody to add value to the order of the household. So people who are in polygamous relationship or want polygamous relationship, what is the value add? What is this person going to add value that we don't currently have? Do you have the resources to expand your family? Is your partner saying yes to it? Because she says no, it becomes difficult. Because it means the one who has built the foundation with you says no, it's going to create turbulence. I'll tell you, I was invited into a polygamous marriage, and there were reasons that were laid out, and I resonated with the reasons. But it started to feel like I was replacing the first wife or whatever. I don't know, because it didn't work out. I'm assuming. I step back. I assume I listened to his friends and the things they said to me about that. But polygamy is not easy, and it's not for everyone, because you see, as women, we've also been conditioned to compete for men. Like, we're not good enough unless if we have a man in our life, and then here's this man who has to take a polygamous. Yes, and sisters can ask you to be in a polygamous relationship, but they cannot demand. They can ask because there's a purpose, a service that needs to be met, but they can't demand. So they can't say be in a polygamous relationship and your partner is unemployed and you already have 5 kids that you're taking care of. So then what is the value add of that woman? Okay, to help your partner, finance his business or whatever. But remember, it's not about depleting the other woman so that we can also realize our ancestral themes. There has to be a level of where we meet each other, where we can both contribute equally to the expansion of the family. Hence, we've invited you into a polygamous relationship. So let's be very careful what we do it, because some people are not polygamous. I mean, some people are not monogamous, because I don't believe monogamy is for everyone. I believe some of us are just lovers of so many people. And if you like that, be honest and truthful. Good mina, I one. But the reason sometimes we don't is because we're running away from our demons and we are wanting to distract ourselves from real relationships is hard work. Polygamy is not coming to fix the broken marriage. Polygamy, if you are trying to do it, it will break the marriage even further, and it will create fragmentation that might be hard to actually unify. So do not use polygamy to fix your broken marriage. Do not use polygamy as a distraction from the issues and the problems that you are experiencing in your marriage. Do not bring polygamy earlier on in the relationship when you are still finding and building yourselves. You need, which brings me to my fourth, if not fifth principle, the marriage that you are currently in has to be solid before you can invite another person. Because ikhaya fanele bele selihlangene. So please know that you cannot bring it when I know mama sekai, you're still finding yourself and all of that. No, let's distinguish between promiscuity and polygamy. Let's not, those of us who are promiscuous in nature or in our character, and then we say no, it's in my culture, but you can't. That's why it was only for wealthy men in the community and kings and queens, people from a royal family, were the only people who were allowed to take on polygamous relationships, or people like sangoma and stuff, for variety reasons. I mean, I once encouraged Umkulumkasha to be, for us to start his table, and he put some facts because I wanted it to fix my problems, because I came back a Petrueni. There was a lot of things I was struggling with in myself, the new identity that I have come with. I'm figuring myself out. And I'm glad that he said no, because then I would have done it for the wrong reasons. It's wrong. You can't do it to fix a broken marriage, because my marriage was falling apart, and I thought bringing another woman will distract me from, or will make that woman is going to solve. No, that woman is coming to add value. So how do you add value where there's no value already? Okay, let's take a few questions and see what other questions you have about polygamy or istembu. If anything, I'm not covering polyandry. It's a different one. Polyandry is where a woman takes more than one husband. It does happen in our culture as well. I know minake kimukilovedu kasilovedu yadiala mujaji ujeri more than one husband. I always say that maybe kareke mukilovedu kikaranga queen, maybe kisonjore kinobale wow. I get the beginning of lela gapa fail. I get to me mutomo no mungina bujarwano garutubana le bana baba baby, but that has its own implication. Toza koko ngisha isandla phezu kwesinye ndawuwe. Hey, kalma mokoko ngiyabonga. So I'm taking questions around polygamy. Let's ask questions. We have 100 and we don't have a lot of viewers today. It's not, I think not everybody's topic. But there's only 37 likes. If you resonate, of course, I'm not going to say, please like my video because you got to like it. This is a simple, straightforward. I shared a few principles around Istanbul and why that is. One, a woman has to be the one who initiates it. Number two, that woman has to be somebody who's coming to add value into the family. And number three, they have to be in good relation with your current wife. Number four, there has to be enough financial resources to expand and grow the family. And, six, you cannot use polygamy to fix them marriage problems. Bring it when the marriage is solid. Is it possible that ancestors will marry you? Yeah. Marry two people together with two different gifts. Yes, it is possible. Togoza, can your ancestors choose you to be in a polygamous relationship, more especially as a spiritual person? Remember, let me tell you this, beloveds. Ancestors don't force anything. I've been in three. So since my breakup, no babum kashwa, I've been in two relationships. I've been in three relationships. I've been in two of them where the people were sent by my ancestors and I could not dispute because there was that. But I've also noticed that, you could know that this is not going to work, but I think like sometimes we use our ancestors as an excuse rather than to face things head on and ask the necessary questions and be patient and persistent. When I say patience, persistent, yes, it might be your ancestors, but is that the person the right person? Is it the person? Because if that's what's supposed to happen, the wife will see the person. You will see the wife and that family. And that's how, if indeed, if uno ayidlozi izoyenzakala ngakhona, sizoyibona and angeke siyiphikise sonke. So I've learned that Guti, sometimes my ancestors would say something, but my intuition is my ancestors too. So maybe I need to slow myself down before I jump in all these relationships. Because at the end of the day, it's my body that goes into those relationships. So I'm finding but can I study this person before I sign myself into a polygamous relationship or an arrangement that I might not be happy in? Can I? That they once had a human experience, so they will be able to understand. Don't just go and be excited by everything because the ancestors are saying. We are not held at hostage by the ancestors. I'm not talking about relationships in general. Please, we are speaking about polygamy here. Togoza is is the bile ceremony done for all the wives? Yes, yes. Ukuthelwa ngenyongo bonke abafazi bayabikwa emsamo. Because umungene emzini fanele ubikwe. So yes, the ceremony is done for every. Uyabikwa because even before you take and yolobola fanele ubike emsamo usho ukuthi umakoti wenu indlovukazi yala ekhaya enginike imvume has given me permission ukuthi I can do X and X. So manje sesiyahamba siyomlobola loyo muntu. I was told, because I'm sangoma, ukuthi if I get into a relationship, well, with the partner I was dating at the time, because I have kids and I'm done with kids. He was supposed to have kids, and I was happy for him to go take a second wife later on. And I was told, ukuthi ngifanele ngimlobola loyo mfazi azozala emzini. So, how do you lobola somebody you don't vibe with? And it means, as a spiritual person, as a sangoma person, whoever that comes in my space has to be aligned to the principles, because for us, purity and a lot of those things are important. So because unfortunately it doesn't work. We can't just choose anyone, because the ancestors will even tell you long about they've already investigated and served and looked with this one will be in alignment, because you don't want to bring somebody ozomosha umsebenzi wakho. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, polygamy was also used for when a wife couldn't bear children, because, like I said, children were very important at that time. But is that the case now? Not necessarily, because there's IVF, there's surrogacy, there's a lot of other ways where we can have children without having to bring somebody on. But if that's the way you choose, yes, that's a value add. That's a value add. If you're asking, is that a value add? Definitely, it's a value add. Like I said, I dated somebody who I was going to be in a polygamous relationship with, and because they wanted children and I couldn't, and my tubes are tied, but I could go and untie them, or I can do another procedure, but I'm good with 4 kids. So I was like, no, that's good. You'll find somebody else. We will find, not you will, we will find somebody else. And it became difficult, because, and then at the end, the person felt like, no, I wasn't going to allow them to have a second wife. And I said, but the other thing is we were not stable. There's a lot of things that have to go into place, and eventually our relationship didn't work out. So that's what I'm saying. Even though there's certain things, or this is what ancestors want, there's also reality. You know, you need to also explain to your ancestors about this is the reality of the situation. Tagozani, is there any more questions, beloved? Can your ancestors send you a second wife? Can you marry a second wife for the ancestors? But we also need to understand ukuthi kaningi umuntu kuthiwa umfazi wedlozi is not your sexual partner, because these are the people who can work with you with your work because they're not actively engaged in sex. So be careful ukuthi what is the reason. That's why I'm saying be patient. You know, pace yourself. Don't hurry when these messages come. Ask more questions. You know, what is the importance? Hey, namhlanje ngathi ngivukela amadlozi. Hey, thank you for the teaching, Gok. Yes, I'm trying to look at the question. Okay. It feels like we have enough. Is there any other questions that we have? Does umfazi wedlozi necessarily have to be umgoma? But you see, if they say umfazi wedlozi, they need to tell you what does that really mean. Ukuthi umfazi wedlozi. Is it umfazi because lo muntu ukhethwe umkhulu wakho, but why is umkhulu wakho saying what is that? So inquire. Let's not be taken by words and terms that we don't understand. Then we're signing up for things that are going to make us unhappy, you know. So let's be very clear with what are those things. What does it mean necessarily when they say umfazi wedlozi uze ngoba uzwenze njani? Gogo, as a spiritualist, can one disagree with ancestors if they want? Yeah, you can kindly, but you also have to plead your case and say, because I said to some people, the same way as the calling, you know, like having a calling to be a sangoma, you can say no, but also leave with the repercussions. So your reasons have to also be solid, valid, why you don't want it. Because if it exists in the family, it's also similar to a gift. It's not meant for everyone. So it's in your family because this is what it has done for the family. So if you want to change that practice, there has to be a solid reason so that you don't stop the flow of life, or then have things that are going to disturb the flow of life, because here you are. You know, you need to also be truthful about why you are resisting polygamy, because sometimes we do because we feel like we're being replaced. Sometimes we do because we already are insecure in our relationships. Sometimes we do for many reasons. So it's not easy. I mean, before you do it, it requires conversations, many conversations between the two of you, a conversation with a mediator that could be a therapist, a coach, setting and being clear on the principles, you know, conversations with the adults and the elders in the family. So there's a lot that has to go in. We don't just wake up and say, hey, let's take another person, let's bring another wife. I'm in America and I have a calling, but I feel like I can, oh, I missed that. I'm not talking about callings, I'm talking about polygamy. Can a man love two people at the same time? Can he love them equally, or one will end up? Can your ancestors say things won't go well till you marry a certain person? Yes, they can, and I've experienced that they do. Yeah, I've experienced, and things don't work out until the person marries the second wife. So I've experienced that personally. So somebody was speaking about what was the other one? Can a man love two people? Anyone is capable of loving more than one person. You know, love is magic. Love is expansive, not expensive. Maybe it is because it takes a lot. But I believe anyone can love more than one person. Coco, who gets to stay with the husband or the separate households, including husband getting into his own place? Sorry, Coco, I didn't mean to get off the topic. No worries, dear. So who gets to stay? The first wife. The first wife, mostly that would be the arrangement. The first wife gets to stay with the husband, and there has to be, that's what I'm saying, it's not for everyone. You see, there has to be a schedule. On Tuesday I'm going to Mandlanzi, then Wednesday ngiyakuma Mkhize, and then, you know, Thursday ngiyakuma Sithole, kanjalo kanjalo. If you are always asked out by people who we take is tembu, you are in spiritually gift, does it mean your ancestors might want it from you? They say I don't understand that. Snowy Drops, your question is quite vague. But also, because people would also agree to go into polygamous relationship because it benefits them. It could be that, there's not a lot of single men. And it's just, I think I would go into a polygamous relationship, even though my numerologist said I am not the kind to go, but I would, because I'm so busy. Yabo, ngiyasebenza nginezinto, so then I don't have to worry ukuthi unobani wenzani. I would just really go, because then I know ukuthi uzozanini, then I can give you my time and stuff, not always wanting my attention 24 hours. I would be in a polygamous relationship, but I would not be in it because it benefits me. It would have to benefit the household, because I would need the second wife to know and approve of it. If they don't, because with this guy, when they, actually, yeah, let me not get there. It's a story for another day. But I remember saying to him, if your wife is not approving, I'm not getting into it. Okay, beloveds, I hope this session was useful. Tomorrow I've got an early morning, because as you know, I'm a coach, so I've got 2 live coaching sessions. Lol, me too, Coco, but my husband doesn't want it. Yeah, my husband didn't also want it at the time I wanted to. Partly it's a Coco, let your reasons also be very solid for why you want it, so that it's not only for you, because it needs to benefit the 2 of you and your family as well. And it's not easy, because some of the cons of polygamy, witchcraft, is one of the biggest and that's why a lot of people don't want it, because there's competition. That's why I'm saying that you cannot use it and then deplete the resources and overstretch the resources of the family, because now you want your needs to be met. No, there has to be sufficient resources so that things so yeah. Oh, Msheng, wagithi muswena. You also pray. Hi Nami, beloveds, I think like my next relationship has to be in a polygamous one. Because yeah, the last one tight, like I can't always be like this and that and that and that and be there on call and stuff. Like yabona stream manje. I just finished a talk. When I'm done, I have to do something else, prepare myself for my coaching tomorrow morning. But it's like I said, I think for me, and this is what you need to be as a woman, never ever go at it as an affair, because affairs don't end nice, because they were not, there was mistrust, there was dishonesty. Make sure that you don't do anything until, if the guy approaches you and they tell you they're married, ask if their first wife knows before you even go far, and said, I want your first wife to grant us permission to date. If it is allowed, if the family of the groom or the bride wants Istanbul and convinces the wife to agree to the polygamous relationship, even if, that was a long, even if you haven't talked about it. Okay, I think it's a comment. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody. Please share it. Today it was a very sweet and short one. I want to speak, next week I want to speak about cleansings. As we're coming to year end, you saw on my Instagram. Remember to follow me on Instagram, because there's also streams I do there, on Twitter, on Facebook, Kokodinao and Lanzi, in all my socials. Well, not Kokodinao in all my socials. But I posted, because I'm in Giseteguin, so I was Elwandle, and I thought I need to do a stream about the importance of cleansings and why Ulwandle is such a powerful cleanser, and why we used to always go Ulwandle every year. So yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I can feel I'm tired. It's been a long thing. Going to the ocean. Mwah. Love and light.